You know, when I heard this voice crack, I just couldn't believe it. Like, you have Ubisoft again. I, there's so much wrong with Star Wars Outlaws, right? And this is besides the whole artistic direction they chose to go with the game. You know, the fact that it's yet another Star Wars game where you're not allowed to create your own character. You're not allowed to go your own way and do your own story. Like, they cannot trust you to play the game the way they intended, so they have to railroad you. You have the $70, $100, $130 something price range. Like, why do all the price ranges just go up? Like, why can't I have, like, the $50 bundle or like the 40 something dollar bundle? Is like, okay, I don't. I guess it takes away the DRM. Well, well, let's be honest. If they could do that, they'd give you a fifth of the game. Or if you want to play it 3 days early, you spend like $50 and you beta test the game. Like, you're still paying money, but you're beta. But no, they don't do that. They're like, oh, if you want the season pass, if you gotta pay $100, which again locks off content that is in the game with Jabba the Hutt. And Jabba the Hutt's a big character in Star Wars, right? Like, he's literally, like, at one point he was the Lord of the Underworld. Like, he held probably the highest, underworld trade in the entire fucking galaxy. But you have this person eventually coming out and responding and being like, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big. It's whatever. It's just a tiny part of the game. And it's like, I could just imagine someone who spent $130 something just to have that content, only to have Ubisoft being like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's like my brother in Christ. I spent 30 more fucking dollars above the $70 for it. And you want to say it's not that big of a fucking deal? Ugh. Anyway, Ubisoft has responded to the ongoing backlash against the Star Wars Outlaws Season Pass, insisting Jabba the Hutt is part of the experience for all players. I mean, you might see him, but to my knowledge, they chopped off that entire like section of the game. The publisher has come under fire for locking the Jabba the Hutt's mission behind Star Wars Outlaws' controversial season pass, which comes with the $109 fucking Golden Edition and even more expensive $129 Ultimate Edition. They're doing the same thing for the Assassin's Creed. Like, this is the Ubisoft business model. You have to pay more and more dollars for effectively nothing. Play the exclusive Jabba's Gambit mission at launch. The season pass explainer reads, just as K is putting together a crew for the Canto Bite heist, she receives a job for Jabba the Hutt himself. Turns out that Indy 5 owes Jabba a debt from years ago, and he has come to conflict. Yeah, I mean, again, I just can't get over when he said, "Oh, it's not that big of a deal." It's like, brother, I paid $129 for this. You're gonna tell me it's not that big of a deal? Nunny. The revelation sparked a backlash, with some players criticizing Ubisoft's decision to lock a mission behind a season pass for what is a full price single player game only. Oh yeah, they're also going to have de novo DRM. So for you out there, if you want to guarantee a game, like a fifth of the people who are interested in the game just do not buy it, like put de novo DRM and just watch them wait until it eventually hits the torrent site. Ubisoft has issued a statement insisting that Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel will be part of the experience for all players, regardless of which edition they buy. To clarify, Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt Cartel are one of the main syndicates in the Star Wars Outlaws and will be part of the experience for everyone who purchases the game, regardless of the edition. A Ubisoft spokesperson told IGN the Jabba the Hutt Gambit mission is an optional additional mission with the Hutt Cartel along Kay and Nick's journey across the Outer Rim. Well, see, that's not what people are arguing, right? People are arguing that there is content that is in the fucking game at day one. This is in the fucking game. The problem is you cut it out unless you pay an extra $30 fucking dollars for probably something that's what, a couple of hours long. I mean, if you want to go by the whole Ubisoft idea. This mission will be available to those who purchase the season pass or an additional or any edition of the game which includes the season pass. However, the scope of the Jabba Gambit mission remains unclear, leaving those who do not buy the season pass unsure of what they're missing out on. Ubisoft has said in the part that players can work for and even betray Jabba as the head of one of the Star Wars Outlaws criminal factions. Blah, 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 blah. Don't care. And again, at the end of the day, again, they're failing to understand the criticism because they do not consult with the consumer, right? They consult with IGN, like they legitimately believe IGN and game media journalists are the consumer and they treat them like such, right? Why do I need to pay an extra $30 for something that is in the game already at day one on launch? I don't doubt that he's part of the game or at any facet of it, but I'm just saying it's content that's in the game that you're cutting out. Comments. Ubisoft has responded to ongoing backlash against Star Wars Outlaws Season Pass, insisting Jabba the Hutt is part of the experience for all players. That doesn't answer the concern at all. In the mission, free later or not, Jabba being part of the experience could happen in any number of ways. Exactly. I mean, he could just be a picture on the fucking wall. And they can be like, oh, well, there he is. There's Jabba the Hutt. Hoiny doiny doiny doing. It's like, yeah, but that's not what people are saying. How is this so hard to comprehend? Jabba's in the game, but there's also a specific mission that's part of the season pass. Just like many games have additional missions exclusive to the season pass or DLC. Well, again, that's what people are having a problem with. It's content that's in the fucking game at day one. As in they worked on this. But you have to pay an extra $30. This is what people have a problem with. Like, okay, he could be part of the game, the original game, but you have a mission, you have storytelling, you have things that are specifically locked off from the player unless they pay more money. It sounds like that specific optional mission is not available to everyone. But other missions from him are available to everyone. They said Jabba's Gambit mission is an optional additional mission with the Hutt Cartel along KNX and blah 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 blah. Again, we know what they say. I don't care what they say. Because again, I don't even know if the game's out. Like, again, and then this is just one thing amongst the myriad of issues that Outlaws will have. Because it's Ubisoft and people just do not trust Ubisoft to make any compelling stories or missions. I mean, people trusted Respawn. I mean, say what you want about Star Wars Jedi Knight Fallen Order, or I mean, it was still an all right game. This is just people buying one person. $70 for the right to play the game without actually owning it. Playing the entire game costs extra. Exactly. This is what people are saying. And the fact that people are just growing desensitized, like people believe this is normal. It's like, no, this is not normal, right? If you're a gamer back in the 2010, 2011 days, like this would get you laughed out the fucking off the damn stage if you dare to do this. And I mean, companies did, but again, Blizzard, for example, had the interest of the consumer in mind. It was actually a good company at the time. Nowadays, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Blizzard. Maybe it's the generous voice actress doesn't have a goofy face if you play more. Maybe they rearrange the face of the character to where again they look less like having a mop on their head and less of a man jaw. Who knows? You never owned a single game you have ever bought. You buy a license to play the game. Same with the film and movies. Ownership would imply control over the IP, which is okay. I don't know why, man. If you pay money for a product, you own that product, right? I don't know why people are trying to make this even more complicated than what it is. Like, whatever. This isn't what I'm talking about. Man's just going off in the fucking Narnia. I'm not buying this even at $70. I encourage everyone else to wait as well. Vote with your wallets, folks. Exactly. I mean, wait until it's like half off. This is what people do anyway. Most people do anyway. Like, I remember when people would chomp at the fucking bit to buy a game. But this was also when games were $60 or, well, $59.99. And you actually got the whole fucking game. I'm not buying it either. Ubisoft's a joke. Waiting until it comes on Steam. It will be more optimized, maybe cheaper, and probably more content in it as well. I advise everyone to do this as well. Exactly. I already pre-ordered and ready. Games released on my birthday, and if it's anything like the Division or the Division 2, I know I will get hundreds of hours out of it. My wallet is voting to grab the game and enjoy it. I mean, again, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But you gotta understand, the majority of people don't want to do that. Like, if you are chomping at the bit to buy the fucking game, go right ahead. But you gotta understand why other people are not doing it. I'm honestly curious as to why this in particular is blowing up. This has been happening for years. There's always some random mission locked behind the pre-order bonus or extra gold gear or whatnot to more experience versions of the game. Ubisoft does this all the time. Not saying I like it or that they should get away with it, but I'm just confused as to why this game in particular is getting blasted. Because this game in particular is coming out at a time where you have Bidenomics, you have people being conscientious consumers, people are holding their wallet to their bosoms, and it's Ubisoft. I mean, it's that simple. Like, it's not some. And yeah, it has happened in the past, but also, again, coming back on the whole Blizzard idea, you got the whole fucking game regardless, right? And if you want to consider DLC to be part of this, again, you got like you just got a better products, full products back then, but again now people are becoming conscientious to it and shitting on Ubisoft for it. I mean, and then that's it. You got me. Everyone should have learned years ago about these big Ubisoft games. Always launch like this. Better choice is to just buy it. Buy the main game first, then buy the extra stuff when it's already out and on sale. I mean, I'd say you wait and just wait for the game to be on sale. My personal preference is just wait to play the game until the whole thing is on sale like $30. There's no price for playing the game more expensive, less complete version earlier. Yeah, and again, the game could come out on launch and not work. Like you could pre-order the fucking game and it just not work on launch. That's also something that could happen. Oh, you wait a few minutes, I'm sure the corporate shit Final Fantasy 99 will pop in there to let us know all guys has like forged replies littered throughout every what? I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Spend however you like, Ubisoft. That statement doesn't matter. The fact is, $69.99 isn't getting players the full experience. You could say that about any game. Unless I pre-order, I don't get the gold shield. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous stance. $69.99 gets you the full game. If you want DLC, you have to pay. Yet again, and this is again, people fail to understand this, and it boggles my mind because they're down here having a full philosophical argument that people are like, oh, games have always been like this, blah 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 blah. Well, we're living in different times, right? We're living in the time of inflation and a time of everything is more expensive, at a time where there are other avenues of entertainment. Like, you can live your life without purchasing a single Ubisoft product. Like, it is possible. Like, they're assuming you can't live without the Ubisoft product. You can. You can buy better products and go your entire life and even enjoy it. And this is what people just fail to understand. And again, things like this has always happened. It's just the idea that, again, content that is in the game being locked behind a paywall is something that people are pointing out and be like, you know what, maybe this shouldn't happen. You know, yeah, it happened in the past, but and I don't understand that argument that, oh, it happens in the past, therefore you're just not allowed to talk about it at all. You're just supposed to accept it. It's like, no, right? I will talk about it. I will shit on it. And that's just that. I miss the Ubisoft from the original Splinter Cell days. Sadly, those days are long gone. The company died when they decided not to complete the original Assassin's Creed story arc. From the part 4, every IP they managed to turn into the likes of an annual Maiden-style reskin. Madden-style reskin. They have managed to dilute every franchise they touch, absolutely. Again, they're trying to mass produce their products. They're trying to just shove out something as cheap as humanly possible and demand the most amount of money as possible. Wait, so Ubi is basically saying, no, you can look for free, but gotta pay to actually experience it. Smiles proudly. Ubi needs a seriously hard look. Needs a seriously hard look to the nerds. I'm confused. I'm dyslexic. My interest has already my interest was already middling once this was not the open world Star Wars I was looking for, knowing that Ubi sees this as nothing but a cash cow killed whatever interest was left. Heck, I actually laughed when I heard that this has a paid mission at launch. Well, this is the company that declares a failed Black Flag MP that looks worse than Black Flag. It is quadruple A. Does a number of A's indicate how far away from ideal it is? No, it indicates how much money they'll spend Quadruple A again just means even more money thrown into the game. Oh yeah, this is the Final Fantasy 99 guy that someone was blasting. Again, you always have this one guy that will defend the product. And I think in Assassin's Creed Shadow, when I was talking about it, it was the big boss guy who was defending. What? Are you saying Java is a significant part of the game with a story mission? This is just an extra mission with him. Try reading the article. Brother, people read the fucking article, and they're saying it's shit. Right? And again, I read the article. I still think what they're doing is bullshit. Right? And again, the game's not out, so we don't exactly know how. Like, again, if we're going by how Ubisoft actually sells their product, I mean, I guess Jabba will be in the background, but you'll not experience him. It's literally an option mission that doesn't impact the story of the game. Your gripe is way off base. If you're going to moan, at least moan about something valid. Brother, this is 100% valid. Again, you're cutting off shit in the fucking game that is on the game at day one. But you're saying, he'll be there. You'll graze across him, but you can't play the mission. You can't play the mission unless you pay even more fucking money. I don't understand this idea that people just want you to pay even more money. It's like they're broke and they want you to be as broke as they are. That's something I never understood. But anyway, I mean, let's just go to the bottom. So they clarified by saying that yes, indeed the mission listed is something extra you have to buy. This alleviates literally nothing. Absolutely. Please. People thought they wouldn't be any mission with Jabba if you don't pay for the season pass. Turns out there are missions with him anyway. Again, they say there are missions with him. So okay, they probably just brush by him on the way to the restroom and be like, "Oh, there he is, there he is." It's like, but that's not alleviating anything. That's not what people are talking about. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Again, just this idea of, because it happened in the past, you should accept it now. No, I don't think I will. I think I will shit on it, and I'll continue to shit on it. And now, hell, I'll shit on it even twice as much. But anyway, see ya.